Well, hi there, and welcome to another episode of Kernels. This is an ongoing series of short video clips from the State Library and a new venture for us. I'm Bonnie McEwen, consultant with the Northwest District Office of the State Library, and I'm joined today by the reference services staff at Sioux City Public Library, and I'll introduce them in just a minute. First, some background about Kernels. Each installment is a pop of professional development that spotlights a popular program or service. Maybe it's a new twist on a traditional service. Kernels feature local library staff from all across the state in libraries large and small, sharing their work and their discoveries so that other in-practice librarians can learn from their experience. You'll find our kernels posted to the State Library's Continuing Education YouTube channel. There's an entire playlist there. We already have something like 11 kernels loaded up, so I hope you'll circle back to watch any of them at any time. These videos are also cross-posted inside Iowa Learns, the State Library's education catalog and learning management system. So you can watch them once you log into your Iowa Learns account, watch them there to receive CE credit. So now on with today's kernel topic, brought to you by Kelsey, Patterson, Jesse Wakefield, and Lacey Fullerton. All are reference librarians at Sioux City Public Library. And they are here to share a program they've developed called Reference Roundtable. This is a live Facebook event done weekly with reference staff discussing good books, favorite genres, and good movies. So welcome to you all. Thanks for taking your time to do this for us. And I know I didn't give a very complete description of your job specialties, and I know that specialties are considerable amongst the reference staff at Sioux City Library, everything from reader's advisory to local history. To website stuff. So be sure to say more about that for each of you when you each take a turn. But let me start by asking, how did this idea come to you? How did this idea come about to do a live Facebook event so that you could share good reads and good movies?
Sure. So I'll take this one. I'm Kelsey Patterson, and I am the Reader Services Specialist at the Sioux City Public Library. Basically, that's a fancy way of saying I'm part of the reference department, but I am kind of responsible for all of our adult programming, book clubs, book display stuff. So kind of a lot of that reader's advisory things. But then my colleagues are able to jump in and help out, and everybody, has their expertise and favorite things to share. So it really works out well. I guess, that's my background. So it really kind of came about as at Sioux City, we closed on March 17th, and then we had our very first episode of the show the very next week. Initially, we all stood around and we're like, okay, we're closing. What can we do to still make meaningful connections with our patrons? We have those RA interactions, every day, whether it was, on the phone, in person, over email, all those different mediums that we're like, okay, we still need to be able to do that. They still want to be able to connect with us, even though we're only able to offer, online services at that point. And we were like, well, what if we did a talk show? Talk shows are really popular with people, but what, okay, what medium would we use? And we're like, okay, we have Facebook Live, people really follow our Facebook page, so we were like, okay, step one, figured out. Then we found our medium to do it, and it's honestly kind of the highlight of our week as much as it is the highlight of our patrons week. We get so many fun comments, and we love being able to interact with folks. And really, we've had some comments where it was like, you're the, highlight of my week, that this is the only thing that I'm doing on social media this week. Or, I missed the library so much, but it's a little bit better that I get to see you and talk to you on Facebook. So that has been really fun for us. And we actually started out doing them twice a week since, we've reopened and, in other phases of our reopening plan, we had to kind of scale back a little bit. We're only once a week, but we still look forward to it every week.
We wanted to make it very clear to our patrons that just because the doors were closing doesn't mean that we were going anywhere.
Yeah.
And we definitely wanted to put our face in their homes, basically.
Now our faces are even on mugs. So
yes, that's
Oh, really? That I did not know.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. There's
feel
the
very,
whole
like
crew.
the staff of the Today Show,
right. Yep.
those other morning shows.
Well, what a clever idea. I guess I didn't realize you guys had done twice weekly. That's ambitious then, or anytime.
We just finished our 60th episode this week.
Oh
so.
my gosh. I mean, I'm impressed by weekly and anything that's a weekly rotation, because I write the Monday morning eye opener and I know what weekly can do.
Can do to you, right?
Can do to you, like, oh, it's Monday again. Well, that is so awesome and such nice and really just really gratifying comments to hear from people.
We get some extraordinary comments from our patrons. We really do. It makes it worthwhile for sure.
Oh, that's so good. Well, with that background, tell me then, how do you choose the books and the movies that you're going to highlight from week to week? There's certainly plenty of material, but to maybe the harder thing is narrowing it down.
Yeah, I wish I could say that we had this like really great, just like spreadsheet out and we planned way ahead. Usually it tends to be week to week. As soon as we finish on Thursday, we're like, anybody got anything? Like right now though, we actually planned ahead. In the month of April, we decided to read through the decades. So we started in the 60s and we're going to end next week on the 90s. But honestly, we do get a lot of our ideas. I think I can speak for everybody from Goodreads. They have a lot of reading challenges on there that kind of can spark a theme, like read a book by an author from a different country, or, read a nonfiction book written by a woman. I mean, they have things like that suddenly we can turn into a theme and pick books or movies or whatever from that theme. And we've also tried to feature some of the things the library has. I know we did an episode on Canopy, which probably a lot of libraries have heard. We started subscribing to Canopy this year, which is a video streaming service. So we featured that to show kind of our patrons how they could use that and what they could watch on there. So we do try and kind of hit other things as well to show off what we've got at the library.
We also did.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
We also did one just to get to know your librarians better, and we did a background on us, since we work for you, the patrons. Get to know us a little better. So we did do an episode on that. I think one of our most interesting ones was we took the lyrics to Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire," and based off of those lyrics and made book recommendations off of that. We definitely love our themes. We rely on our themes.
Yeah.
And then we're like trying to be like punny with like our episode names. And we're really trying to be like talk show, but like late night show, all that kind of fun.
More
like,
the
stuff.
Seth Meyer crowd and the
We're not just as much fun as those shows.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought our library myths one was pretty cool too. That there's so many myths about like what it means to be a librarian and to work in a library and just libraries in general. That I think was a fun one and changed it up a little bit for us.
We're not afraid to talk about books we hate either.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not afraid to say that we have strong opinions. So not everything we talk about is always great. Sometimes we talk about those books that just didn't cut it.
Yeah. Or the adaptations, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
You get our honest opinion, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I like the finding those occasions too, where you can kind of branch out from book recommendations and share other products and services that the library is offering that people might just not be aware of.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea too.
We like throwing those into, so it's not just the same thing every week of book recommendations. We do like throwing that into switch it up a little bit.
Well, right.
Keep it
Yeah,
fresh.
it adds variety, and I think it's a great promotional vehicle too, to be able to share those digital services and products that so many people, too many people are not aware of. Yeah.
It's amazing how many times you still hear patrons go, the library does that?
Yeah.
And this helps promote those things that the library does.
I know it.
Mhm.
That's so cool. Well, do you all feel that we're at a point to share a video clip so we can share with our listening audience just how delightful these readers advisory programs are? Speaking of talk shows, does this clip need a setup, as they say in talk shows?
Probably not too much of a setup. It's the kind of the intro to our 50th episode, which is why you'll see we have some fabulous headwear, because we wanted to have a really fun theme for our 50th episode, and you'll notice that there's a fourth person in this video that will do a lot of the talking, and that's Sarah Enright, and she is the fourth in our Fab Four group here. She just couldn't be here today for the talk, so we wanted to include her for sure. So I will go ahead and start it, and you can see what we get up to.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here on Reference Roundtable. I'm Sarah, and with me today is Lacey and Kelsey and Jesse. If you watched us before, we want to thank you for coming back and joining us again. And if you happen to be watching for the first time, we are from the Reference Department here at the Sioux City Public Library, and we go live on Thursdays with a different topic to discuss each week. So today we're celebrating a pretty big milestone. It's our 50th episode. So yeah, woohoo! We started Reference. Yes. Yeah. We started Reference Roundtable as a way to stay connected with our patrons during quarantine last spring, and it quickly became the highlight of our week. To date, we've recommended over 400 titles, including books, movies, TV shows, and music, with topics ranging from cozy mysteries to childhood favorites, to even taking inspiration from Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire. So we've highlighted a few of our e-resources and even dispelled some common misconceptions about librarians. So to show our appreciation for our dedicated viewers, we are giving away this really cool Reference Roundtable mug. And we are going to do that at the end of the episode today. So if you, we posted a post on Facebook earlier this week, and if you liked or commented on that post, you were automatically entered. So stay tuned, and we're going to reveal the winner towards the end of the episode. So first things first, we're going to do what we do best, and that is talk about books. For this episode, we all went mining for recommendations and struck gold, which is perfectly fitting.
I see what you did there.
I had to. So what that's perfectly fitting, since a 50th anniversary is traditionally known as the golden anniversary. So gold is appearing in our titles today, or authors, or even the books themselves, which should make for a rich discussion. If you're watching if you're watching live, please comment. We truly love bringing our viewers into the conversation. So who is kicking us off today?
Well, very good. It's not only useful information, it is some lighthearted conversations too, right?
We don't take ourselves seriously.
No. And you can really tell we genuinely enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
I can tell that from when I eavesdrop on some of
On
these,
some conversation.
when I eavesdrop on some of
On
these,
some conversation.
from when I'm in my downtown office and I land there on a Thursday. I can tell that you guys are having too much fun for something that's. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think that gives viewers a good indication of just the kind of, easy, the easy rapport you all have, which I think is really going to be a key to other libraries doing this, just to make it really informal and kind of lighthearted. So I thank you for that. I'm curious though, if you needed any kind of special equipment for this, I mean, webcams and mics, but we hope that one goal of Kernels is that library staff will try their hand at this type of programming themselves. So is there special equipment people should look for?
Beyond what you just said, webcam and microphones. The only thing different that we use is the platform of StreamYard, which is free. Our version of it is free. They do have one that you pay for, and you get a little more bells and whistles, but for our purposes, the free one works just fine. And you connect it directly to the library's Facebook page. And all you need is the person who connects needs to have ability to get into the library's Facebook page to connect it. And that's it. We use webcam, microphone, or earbuds with microphone technology, and StreamYard. I do suggest always wearing headphones, because sometimes you can get an echo effect that can kind of make things sound a little funny. But beyond that, it's like soccer. All you really need is a ball. This is like all you really need is StreamYard, and you got it.
I have to confess, though, I've never heard of StreamYard, so I think.
Well, I had to do a lot of research before we did our first episode to see what would work best for us on a zero budget.
Okay.
and this worked perfectly. The one you will always have the StreamYard logo in the top corner of all of your videos for the free version, and I say that's absolutely fine by me if I still get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, very good. Well, very good. I think we have a little bit of time left to us, and since this is connected to readers' advisories, which you're all so skilled at, I thought maybe we could, or you could share a little bit about Sioux City Library's reading recommendations. I can offer a patron testimonial because I subscribe to it. It's a newsletter that comes to my inbox, and I subscribe to it, and I just really dig getting those newsletters. I will often check the titles in reading recommendations against Bridges to see what's available in Bridges. I tend to read mostly, I think, on my Kindle. So that's fun to take the newsletter in one hand and Bridges or my Kindle in the other and see what I can find. So could you share a little bit about how Sioux City Library has used reading recommendations, what that service is all about?
Sure. So I can kind of start us out, and then Lacey and Jesse totally jump in. So our reading recommendations, it's actually like a page on our website where you can sign up for a lot of like genre specific newsletters. So, it's not just, hey, here's like 12 things that the library has now. It's, mystery and thrillers. It's, gentle reads. There's, specialty nonfiction categories. And we're very fortunate that we have a subscription to Library Aware that kind of automatically populates a lot of that for us. We just have to go in if there's a title that we don't have and we want to swap it out with something else, or we have one that we think would fit better and be of more interest to our patrons. It's super easy that literally like click a button to hit like swap book, and then you just change it and it gives you the book cover. You can link it right away to Bridges, which when we were closed, that was pretty much all we were doing, is we were just picking stuff that our patrons could access on Bridges. So.
Yeah, it's something that we do every month. I specifically do romances and history and current events. So I get a little bit of fluff and a little bit of hard-hitting stuff as well. I enjoy doing it every month. Like she said, it's really, really quite easy. The only thing is if we don't have it, find something that we do have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me bring up the form from the library's website, just to show people how patrons at Sioux City Library would make their choices, and in terms of what they'd like to receive coming to them and reading recommendations. I chose, when I did this, I have to find my thing. Here we go. Voila.
Ooh.
These are the genres available, and when I filled this out for myself, I chose mystery and thrillers, suspense, and history. Is there a history one?
History and current
historical
events.
fiction.
Yep.
Yeah, not historical fiction, but history and current events. Those were my 3 genres that I chose, and that right there is enough to keep me busy and happily occupied.
The nice thing too with LibraryAware is you can choose as little or as much. There's actually some newsletters that we decided we didn't want to send out to our patrons. So maybe you want to do all of them and you have lots of time and, you want to just get everything out to your patrons, but maybe, you're a smaller library and you're like, we only want to focus on these 4 or 5 or 6 of them. So you have a choice of how many of these you want to send to people. So you don't have to overwhelm yourself with too much work.
And you can also do that with the newsletter itself. You can put as many or as few titles on each of those as you want as well.
Okay, because I wanted just to come back a minute to what you said, Jesse. So you can customize, you all can customize what's kind of templated in.
The template is there anyway, but we can customize, customize what it looks like in terms of color or font and stuff like that. But we could also take out titles.
Oh, very good.
Say LibraryAware has 8 titles on there, but you only want to give your patrons 4. We'll take the other 4 out.
Gotcha.
And it can definitely do it that way.
Gotcha.
And you can kind of change how they break them up too, because a lot of times, like in the newsletter, like the new stuff will be at the top, and then LibraryAware has come up with some like smaller theme within your genre, whether it's, like rural noir fiction or, something like that. And then they like to pick titles for that if you wanted to. And you're like, I don't think that's really going to be of interest to folks. You can swap that out and pick totally new and different books. But with LibraryAware, it's nice that once you put your branding into your account, it basically adds it to pretty much anything that they create for you or any template that's there. So you don't have to worry about adding your contact information, your logo, anything like that.
Right.
Very good. I almost think that we should do a kernel on LibraryAware, because that's such a powerful product for promotions and newsletters and so much.
And newsletters are just like a fraction of what LibraryAware does.
Yeah. I don't think that's one of our current kernels, but maybe that's on the horizon. Well, I'll stop my screen share and come back to all of you. And I just want to say, as we close out this episode, to thank you so much, Kelsey and Lacey and Jesse, with the Reference Services Department at Sioux City Public Library. And thank all of you for watching. Remember, if you want to earn CE credit for watching this kernel or any of the others, log into your Iowa Learns account. Simply watch the videos there and complete the evaluation. Otherwise, you can find them on our YouTube channel. And just one more note, at the end of this video, you'll see a slide with contact information for our guest stars today from Sioux City Public Library. From the contact email, you're welcome to reach out to any of them with any follow-up questions you might have. And this shameless commercial message, if any of you listening in have something to share from your library, a new program, a new initiative, something to add to our assortment of kernels, please let us know. We do want to hear from you because we want to keep this short pop of professional development. We want to keep this series going. And we need you to help us do that. So thank you all so much for doing this. And thanks to all of you for watching.
Anything for you, Bonnie.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks
you
for having us.